Protein powder gets marketed like a muscle switch you flip. It is not. It is a concentrated way to deliver amino acids when food alone is inconvenient. Muscle protein synthesis still depends on those amino acids plus a training stimulus, not on the tub branding or the flavor that sold you the subscription. Protein's job is more basic than the supplement aisle suggests. Digestion breaks it into amino acids that repair cells and build new ones. Essential amino acids have to come from food or powder because the body cannot make them, and the day's balance matters more than packing a perfect amino profile into every single meal.
Okay, so if the powder itself is not magic, why do so many training videos act like the post-workout shake is doing the heavy lifting for hypertrophy? Is there a real muscle-building signal after resistance work, or is that mostly marketing wrapped around convenience and habit?
There's a real signal. An acute bout of resistance exercise and a protein feeding both stimulate muscle protein synthesis. When you put them together, protein before or after lifting, they reinforce each other rather than cancel out. The powder is just one way to supply that feeding when a full plate is not realistic after training. For most healthy people who train, the bigger lever is daily intake, not the brand logo on the lid. ISSN lands around 1.4 to 2.0 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day for building or maintaining muscle through a positive protein balance. Powder helps only if those scoops actually move you into that range instead of replacing the same grams you already ate.
If daily total is the main lever, how much should one shake actually deliver in practice? People quote 20 grams, 40 grams, and leucine thresholds like a password. What acute dose is trying to maximize that muscle protein synthesis pulse after training?
That acute dose works better when it is not crammed into one giant dinner. Spreading high-quality protein every 3 to 4 hours keeps feeding the synthesis signal across the day. A shake is handy for the awkward midday gap, the commute home, or the hour when cooking simply is not happening and appetite is low.
What about the panic to drink a shake within 30 minutes of the last rep? Is that narrow anabolic window still the operating rule for ordinary lifters, or can people stop treating the blender like an emergency kit after every session?
You can relax the stopwatch. Benefits show up with protein before or after training, and the training stimulus itself keeps muscles more receptive for a long stretch afterward. Pre-sleep casein in the 30 to 40 gram range is one studied option for overnight muscle protein synthesis without needing a dawn blender ritual or treating midnight hunger as a missed window.
Before we go further into who should buy a tub, I have to ask the fear people bring from those kidney damage videos. If someone already has kidney disease, is stacking protein powder a DIY project from the gym aisle, or is that firmly a clinician conversation about personal targets?
For healthy people, powder earns its keep in specific contexts. Resistance training, busy schedules, low appetite after hard workouts, or aging-related muscle goals when chewing another chicken breast is the real barrier. It is a bridge to total protein and leucine-aware servings, not a personality upgrade or a substitute for progressive training. Whole foods can cover needs for many active people. Meat, fish, eggs, dairy, soy, beans, lentils, and mixed plant patterns all supply amino acids across the day. Powder's advantage is control, predictable grams, lower cooking friction, and sometimes fewer calories than another full meal when you mainly needed protein rather than a second dinner.
If I am choosing a product, how much do whey, casein, soy, pea, or blends actually differ for stimulating muscle protein synthesis versus just stomach comfort and preference? Is faster digestion always better right after lifting, or does that depend on the rest of the day?
Product quality is part of the decision, not an afterthought. Dietary supplements are not held to drug approval standards, so third-party testing matters for athletes watching banned substances, for anyone worried about contaminants like heavy metals, and for basic label accuracy on protein grams. Read every scoop as a claim that still needs verification outside the marketing story.
How should someone judge whether the powder is actually helping training adaptations instead of just becoming an expensive daily habit? What changes over a few weeks would count as a fair signal that the protein gap is closing for real?
A shake should not quietly erase fiber-rich meals. If powder replaces beans, vegetables, fruit, and whole grains, you may hit protein while losing the satiety architecture and micronutrients those foods carry. Calories still count for weight goals. Protein can support fullness, but the shake remains food energy that belongs inside the plan.
Who else should pause before self-dosing from a sports tub at home? I am thinking medically complex situations, tube feeding, critical illness, or supervised weight loss clinics, where protein powders show up in studies but are clearly not the same as a casual grocery store shake habit.
During weight loss, protein's job is often protection. Keep lean tissue while fat drops. A 2026 trial of a calcium HMB-enriched powder with protein during energy restriction preserved skeletal muscle better than a maltodextrin control. But the product also contains substantial protein, so HMB cannot be isolated as the sole hero from that design. Separately, a soy protein powdered meal replacement study improved lean soft tissue under weight-stable conditions without fixing inflammation markers.
In that neurocritical care way study, albumin did not clearly win at the main lab endpoint. So what practical lesson transfers to ordinary people buying powder? Is the takeaway simply that whey can help hit higher protein targets when liquid feeding or appetite is the real constraint?
So the fair decision rule is simple. Use powder when it reliably closes a high-quality protein gap around training, aging muscle goals, appetite limits, or cutting phase where lean mass matters. Match scoop size to roughly 20 to 40 grams of complete protein. Keep food and fiber in the pattern, verify the product, and let training plus daily totals, not the tub mythology, do the real work over weeks.